Hey everyone, welcome to the Nikki and Brie show. And we are so excited today because I feel like Nikki and I, for a really long time, have been talking to you all about our health journey, the different testing we've been doing, the things we've discovered, not only about our hormone health, but gut issues, all the different issues, so many issues. But we have really been working on our health, especially, after turning 40 years old. I feel like it's been number one on our bucket list. And we're so excited because someone who's brought in so much light to our results and how we're going to conquer it is Saad Alam, who's the co-founder and CEO of Hormone Health. So you've seen Nikki and I talk about Hormone Health, and we're really going to dive in why we felt so aligned with this company. But before we bring Saad on, I really think, Nikki, we should tell everyone why we felt Hormone Health was the perfect fit and why we're so excited to have him on the show today.
Right. Well, Brie and I, we've been in the spotlight now for 2 decades and since we've been young, we've been athletes, we became pro athletes. We kind of embody health and wellness has always been front and center in our life and the foundations of us since we've been young. So Brie and I, we've never actually really have endorsed, I feel like, a health company before. There's been some things, of course we've endorsed, but not like an entire company, and a company that also talks a lot about hormone health. And I think it kind of had to take us, to be on this health and wellness journey and to become moms and then to enter our 40s to really understand hormone health and longevity of health. I think you kind of care more about it. What I've realized until you enter your 40s or you're in your late 30s, because the people before us, I didn't have any role models that were just talking about it or helping me lead into that way. So you know how much Brie and I love our platform and using our voices, that the more we got into this journey, I would say the past few years, the more we were like, oh my gosh, like more people need to know about this. Need, to be awakened to not, their hormone health, but to testing and like how we have so much out there that we could do to make ourselves better or to find things out. So, we've been through other companies and some were really expensive and, and they were still great. But what was amazing is when we came across Hormone Health, we were like, wow, the testing's affordable and they have incredible products, and they really are on the rise of speaking out about women's hormone health. So much has always been about the men and testosterone and all these things, but women go through so much. And as we're all learning, hormone health really can affect, our brains as well. And it's just, there's so many layers to it. And so when we started to learn a lot about that, and then also meeting Saad and hearing Saad's story and how much he truly cares about health, why he makes it affordable, I was like, okay, you're meant to be. This is a meant to be partnership.
Well, and that's what the thing is. I think when we had our first meeting with him, we instantly were like, he's the real deal, but also he spoke the same language like we do. And that was like really comforting to know. And I feel like that's important, why you speak to people that you want to work with and realize, wow, they have the same passions and vision like we do. And he definitely nailed that. And I also, it's weird. I don't know why my 40s did this to me, and I wished it did it to me when I was younger, but that's okay. Here I am. But you realize that the most important thing in life is to take care of yourself.
Yes.
And if your health is not thriving, you will not thrive in life.
No.
And I definitely have realized now, taking care of myself will not only give me longevity, but also it will give me a really great, strong, comfortable style of longevity. I don't want to be 20 years from now aching and like not fit and just going through the motions of life. I want to be still conquering life in 20 years.
100. What I have learned, and I think I said it on one of Hormone Health's social videos, but like, we don't need to feel like shit. We don't have to just get through the day anymore. We have things out there that can help us. One, that can explain, so we're not feeling crazy about how we're feeling. Now we could get explained facts of, no, this is exactly why you're feeling like this. But hey, this is how we can change it. For so long, I'm like, gosh, I could have been taking all these different things. And by the way, things that possibly can be natural that come back into my body to awaken the natural things in my body that my body used to produce and doesn't.
Right.
And other things that you need help to either awaken things in your body or help your body produce certain things. But I'm like, we have all these incredible things out here. Why am I not doing it to help myself? Why did I feel like I'm just going through the day? There's so much I've learned. And I love the fact that I could tell people you don't have to feel that way anymore, and you don't have to break the bank. You know, we might all have to look at our financials and be like, okay, so I got to take out this, going out to eat this amount of, you know, like, let's not do this for a few months so I could take care of my health, because without our health, we're nothing.
Right.
And I know for me, it's become even more important because I had my son at 37. So I do count the years.
For sure.
I know how old I'm going to be when he's 20, when he's 30, when he's 40. I'm an older mama, and I want to be around for a really long time. I want to watch him grow up. I want to watch him have a family. I hope and pray to God I get to be here when he retires. You know, that's pushing it, but I listen to Dave Asprey and I'm like, maybe there's a chance.
You never know.
You know, and so doing these steps just help us with that longevity.
I agree. Well, since you've been on the Hone Health journey, how has your body been feeling?
I mean, great. You know, the main thing for me when I think of the position I'm in, so retired pro athlete, but still strength training. All you parents get it at the T-ball parks, at the parks, whatever it is, trying to keep up with young energy, 4-year-old energy, and then also training to make a comeback in the ring. One of the things that I've noticed, it's the recovery part. And I think that's something that's really hard for us as we get older. We don't recover as fast, whether it's from working out, marathons, just a day at Disneyland, picking something up wrong and blowing your back out. It's crazy, but what's crazy is you get this blood testing and you start to get certain supplements in your body, and now my body has assistance in recovering like it used to. And I think that's been the most important, the energy. I'm excited because I started NADS Plus, and I think anyone that I've talked to who's been on NADS Plus, they just say their skin inside and out. Like, it's just... And NADS Plus has so many more benefits than just skin, but that's where people really see it. But it's with energy. There's so many things that are amazing for you. I mean, you've heard so many people. It's been the big thing, rave, right? Yeah. So, I mean, I feel great. And the thing is, I travel a lot. Like, it's been a ton of travel. The days I have Mateo, I make sure I'm home. And the minute I drop him off and he's with dad, I'm rushing to the airport, flying somewhere else. So for how my body's adapting to that and how good I still feel, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is because of what I'm doing now, what I'm taking. I couldn't only imagine if I'm not traveling, I'm just at home. I bet you'd be seeing me do backflips at the park right now.
Yeah, honestly. It's amazing what travel does on one's body. What about your hormone health? Because that's our big thing is you and I, that was one of the number one things was checking our hormone health. Like, do you feel like you have everything like in line and in the right spot? I
think I'm on the journey to getting it just right. I don't think it's overnight. But I do think that I'm getting there for sure. I will be excited when I do my blood work again. I think I'm going to give it, I think it's like you give it 6 months or something, and I'll be excited to see how the levels change. But I'm just still, just a few months in. So I will be excited when I start to see I'm already feeling the levels change, but it'll be nice to see. Right. Do you know what I mean? Through blood work.
I mean, I'm definitely the type. So I'm very big in functional medicine. So I always like to bring natural in with a little bit of Western. So I always blend the two. So I'm someone who loves to get to my results. I like to go over with it with my natural path, and then also with a doctor, which the Hone Health doctors are incredible.
They are.
And then I mix it. So you've heard me talk. We both are on a detox and all natural stuff. But then it's great because then you can also see what other medicines you can bring in. Like, my progesterone is so low. Mm-hmm. And I've been noticing around my periods, it's actually has now made my blood sugar just really in the morning and I don't mean to sometimes do what's that intermittent fasting? I like to do it, but sometimes I'm so busy in the morning, I might not eat till 10 or 11. But I noticed it really throws me.
Yeah, gives me the dry heaves because then I get so hungry and then I get kind of dry heavy.
Yeah, well, and I get sick. I mean, think how sick I've been getting my last couple periods.
Well, yesterday when we were just power walking, and because I'm a about to end my period.
Yeah.
But how I kind of got shaken. I go, Brie, we just need to go walk to, I need to get a sandwich. I was like, I need something because now I'm like, I waited too long and then I get shaky. And then do you notice how then the shakes stay there for a while, when you eat?
For sure. But it's been so great to get these results, figure that out, then bring my naturopath in it. And I'm blending both. But I have to say, like, I have not felt this good in a long time to where, like, have you ever heard someone say, you know, like, whoa, I woke up and I felt normal, but normal feels fantastic.
Yeah.
You're like, I actually
Girl,
didn't realize how incredible it feels to feel normal.
You know what? The fog's gone.
That's what it is.
For me, the fog is gone. And it's like, I see clearer and life feels clear. And even when it's times like Mateo will wake me up in the middle of the night, I'm waking up and I'm not just getting through the day. I'm like, okay, I'm good. And sometimes I know I have to adjust workouts. Like, okay, my disrupted sleep, you know, threw me off a little, so I can't maybe deadlift today, but you know what I can do? I could do pure bar cardio or just like something light.
Right.
Go do some yoga. But I still feel functional.
Right. No, I agree with you. Is there anything new that you have brought in the last couple of weeks, do you think, like into your journey?
Well, just a lot more protein. I realized I was lacking a lot of protein, and I think women tend to. And I didn't realize the importance of having a lot of protein in the morning. That's changed a lot.
I mean, that's good.
No,
I mean, that's major.
I mean, I also glutathione. Am I saying that right? I've brought that.
We say it our
morning.
way.
Yeah,
I know what you meant.
I brought that in the mornings, and that on an empty stomach. That's the first thing I drink. I feel like that has been a big game changer for me. And by the way, these are all doctor recommendations. So just see a doctor before, you know, whatever you need to do. And then, you know, it is crazy. I think so many of us are vitamin D deficient. And it is crazy when I change that around. And I'm just here's some supplement talks. Like, just that has changed it for me. Doing this detox and then going into adding all these other things, it's like I kind of give myself a clean slate. You know, I was fighting with 3 parasites in my body. Who would have known? And it made so much sense when I found out like one of the parasites sat in front of like my small intestine. And, you know, when all your nutrients comes into your body, it goes your small intestine, or no, it goes what? Your large intestine. No, wait. You're small, and then it gives it to the large, and then the large distributes it everywhere. Is that what it does? So this parasite was eating all the good nutrients before it could enter. So it's kind of wild whenever you like kind of clean yourself up, and now we're like putting me back together, and like my body's just taking in these nutrients. Like it just feels great. You know,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing you always used to complain about was no sleep.
Yeah.
And not being a good sleeper. You feel like it's helped?
Yeah. For sure has helped. I'm sleeping hard, and you know, I wear an Oura ring, so I track it.
That's amazing.
So it's like definitely nice. I mean, disrupted sleep will always be my big effect, and that won't change till Mateo, you know, is in a place that he wants to, you know, sleep in his own bed. And that's for me, hey, that will be majority of my life. So right now I'm fine with majority of the time he sleeps through the night, but then he'll have nights like last night. He woke me up and was like, Mommy, I'm hungry. And I was like, that's why I told you to eat all of your dinner. He goes, yeah, so can you just go get me some milk? And I said, no, because we need to learn. So he wouldn't let me alone, so I went and got him milk. And he literally took 4 sips and then night, and then was asleep like a puppy. And I sat there and I was like, and it was only like 11, but still.
Takes you 2 hours to get back to sleep.
Yeah. Even though I will
so
say
hard.
last night I actually ended up falling asleep pretty hard. But so it's sometimes those times where then I get a little off.
For sure.
But it's fine.
Yeah.
It's worth it. I mean, I love it.
Everyone in my household has had coughs. You've seen it. Really
Yeah.
bad coughs. The kids like had a couple on and off fevers. But that's really thrown me too. And like, it's just, you know, you become not only a mama, you become a nurse and a night nurse.
Right.
So.
Well, Brie, before we bring on Saad, how about you? What are the things that you feel like you've brought in that like were the main things that you brought in that have changed?
I mean, for me, definitely my hormone health. I realized that was affecting me way more than I realized. And, you know, I'm someone who I've always, like, you know, like I was saying before, believe in mixing both Eastern and Western. And I think doing that, it's given me great results. But finding out just where my hormone health is, the things that I was lacking really low, That's really helped me.
Yeah.
Because that's honestly where I suffering the most. And so I have been so happy with, like we showed you on our Instagram, like the 40 plus testing.
Yeah.
I needed that. That honestly answered every single question I had about what I was feeling.
Right.
And
like
it was
what's
so great.
normal and what's to come, especially for us women when we have menopause. Like how great to be a part of a community or group like Hone. So when we start to get into those stages, we're going to have help with it.
Yep.
And we'll make it as good as best we can. Obviously,
sure.
there's going to be stuff that is going to happen, but we're going to make it the best.
100%.
Yes. So Brie, I say we bring in our guest who has an incredible story, and I'm so happy he's here to tell his entire story.
Me too.
He really is the true American dream story. Has made something from nothing. And I loved that we got to hear it. And I know he's been other places and shared it, but I'm happy he's here to share it with all of you, our listeners. So please welcome our new health best friend, I like to say, Saad Alam, the CEO and co-founder of Hone Health. Hey, Saad.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Look at all of us in our all black.
That's right.
Love it. I love it.
How are you, Saad?
So you guys will appreciate this a lot. So my wife and I just went on our first vacation in 6 years, which that's crazy. It's a separate scenario, but we just celebrated our baby moon, which is amazing. And so we are in Miami, and the baby moon technically ended yesterday, but we had 3 grounded flights, and so we are still in Miami.
No way.
Which is wonderful.
Wait, what? Why?
Is it because of F1?
It's 2 things. One, because of all the cuts in the government, there weren't enough people at the Newark airport, which is a New York City airport.
Yeah.
So all of the air traffic controllers left because they said it's so unsafe. So all the flights to Newark got canceled, all meaning like probably 30%. And then everyone leaving F1 going to New York took all the flights on Sunday and Monday. And so here we are. We're stuck until Tuesday.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Listen, worst places to be stuck.
I
which
was
is
just
true.
gonna say Miami is not bad.
Yeah.
Where did you guys go on your baby moon?
What do we do?
No, yeah. Where did you go to an island?
No. We went to the one hotel. We hung out. We
my
didn't know.
favorite.
Hold on. We didn't know it was F1. We thought it was going to be nice and relaxing, and instead, it turned into like an entire party. Yes.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh my gosh.
The one hotel in Miami during F1 to me would probably be the hottest spot around.
It is like the best people watching you can possibly imagine.
Oh gosh.
Oh my goodness.
I bet. Brie and I, we were gonna go this past weekend, and then we have some other travels coming up. So we were like, we got to skip out on F1 Miami because we're gonna go do F1 in Monaco now. But yeah, I know, right?
You know, I feel like the traffic won't be as bad because it'll be more like yacht traffic.
Seriously.
I mean, look
Best
at us.
problems. First world
Do
problems.
you know what I mean?
Honestly.
Well, Saad, we are so excited to have you
Yes.
on the podcast. You know, we have taken our listeners on this journey of our health, and we've just, really led them every step of the way. And they all know you.
Yeah.
You don't know them yet, but they all know you because we have spoken so much about Hone Health. But we'd love for you to tell your story and the inspiration behind Hone Health.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one, thanks for having me. And you guys have been amazing thus far. And I can't tell you how much our team loves you as well, too.
Oh, thank you.
It is like the second there is anything that comes across from you guys, it gets put into what we call the general channel, and everyone just celebrates. So
I love that.
That makes us happy.
I know.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll tell you that the reason why we started the company is kind of like threefold. I'm 43 now. When I turned 35, so this is going back 8 years, I was taking perfect care of my health. I was eating perfectly. I was meditating twice a day. I was going to the gym 6 times a week, sleeping really well. And so I started having these problems hit me. I started to have my mental acuity and my stamina decrease. So I was just having trouble recalling words. Then I started to gain a little bit of weight, right around kind of the midsection. And then my libido started to kind of go a little bit. I started to find myself having difficulty waking up. And then I think the straw that broke the camel's back was I started to feel a little bit depressed. Mm-hmm. And that is the opposite of my personality. Wow. I'm usually just way too much for people to handle. I'm sure you guys can kind of relate to that.
Oh,
No.
sure. Totally.
You're amazing. I mean, people probably think that of me, but
That's what he was saying.
Oh, yes.
And so I go to my doctor and I'm like, hey, look, something's wrong with me. And he takes a look at my blood work and he sits down with me and he says really seriously, there's nothing wrong with your health. Middle Eastern men just start to age a little bit sooner. And frankly, I just think you have a little bit of millennial existential angst. So I'm going to give you an antidepressant and I'm going to give you some Viagra.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wow. Complete bullshit.
100%.
It felt like the most unfair conversation. And the thing that scared me was two things. My father had developed type 2 diabetes around that age. That type 2 diabetes became kidney disease, that became dialysis, that became multiple strokes, and he passed away early because of it. And also my mother at the age of 32 had her first stroke and also had a hysterectomy and went through early menopause. And so as I'm looking at everything that's happening on both sides, plus at myself, I'm terrified because I'm thinking, why isn't it that I can't get a straight answer? And who is it that can help me? And so I spent about a year kicking around the healthcare system, talking to different specialists. And at the end of the day, they said, you have metabolic dysfunctions and you have hormonal imbalances, which was a relief to hear. But I think the crazy thing is that so many people our-ish age in their 30s as well, too, even late 20s, they're starting to experience all these problems. And so that was really what inspired us to say, we want to create the most accessible longevity platform in the entire country, and has been really like a rallying cry and a mission for the entire business.
I love that. And I love because didn't it start mainly with like the focus of men and then you've really transitioned on focusing so much on women?
That is correct. The first 4 years were focused on men's hormones. And when you build businesses that scale really large, you've got to figure out how to do one thing really well. And then the moment you know how to do that one thing really well, then you start saying, okay, how do I go out and achieve my larger mission? And the most interesting thing is, as we started the women's business about 7 months ago, that business is outpacing the men's growth probably by like 4-ish X. So it's growing so much faster. And you're going to love this. But one of the main reasons we believe it's happening is because women read more than men.
Except not in my marriage, actually.
Oh, that one's rare.
Yeah, he just finished like his, I don't know, 16th book of the year. But I do see that overall, for sure. And you know what else I love, Saad, is that I feel like so many people have your same story. I mean, I look at like our family and like our parents, and I look at my husband and his parents, and we do see so many of health issues on both sides. You know, like at one point it's going to hit you too, but there's so many, our parents never had the right answers. They didn't even ask the questions. So it kind of has fallen, I feel like, a lot in our generation. And we're kind of scrambling, thinking like, okay, what's going on with me? Why am I feeling like that? This isn't normal, or is it normal?
Right. But I think also what's amazing, I think we should get into about more about longevity of health, is there's no companies, like, especially I feel like in the US, that care about the long part, the long term, the rest of your life. Everyone wants to give you the quick fix. Like, here it is, just buy all these pills, do this. So that's why I became so attached to you and Hone Health and your guys' story, because I'm like, it just finally feels like there's a company and like you who actually care. You care about the rest of our lives. You care about what's really going on and you really want to help. And it's not about a quick fix. Like, you're on the Hone Health journey. This is longevity we're talking here, where even though some stuff we could take can definitely make us feel different in a few months, which is the beauty of it, but it's about the long term, not the short term.
I mean, almost think about it like this. We're on this path and this journey of life. And the reality is health is just one part of it. Really, the most important thing are spending time with the people that we love, chasing after your dreams, being able to accomplish something in the second phase of life. And so the way we thought about it is, we would love to be there for the entire journey, and we'd like to help you think long. I think the most exciting thing, though, is the kind of care that you and I grew up with, and our parents probably grew up with, what I'll call like basic primary care, which really is ear infections and step throats. And then when you go do your annual physical, and if you even go, it's really just like them saying, hey, let me do your height and your weight, you're good. And they let you out the door. And it's completely a false sense of hope. And so what we said to ourselves is, let's help you understand where you are in life, but then more importantly, where do you want to go? Not let me tell you about how sick you are. It's if you want to become the most fit marathon runner in your late 40s, let's figure out how to get you there. If we have to reverse some heart disease to get there first, let's help you do that as well. And I think that the thing we're watching happening right in front of us, and your kids will get to experience this more than anyone, is that thing that is this old kind of beat up primary care model that will turn into what you and I are doing right now, meaning this longevity care. And almost everyone will do it within 5 to 10 years. The cost of the technology is getting so much more affordable. And the moment people start seeing outcomes from girls like you, then the next thing that they say is, I want that too.
Yeah.
And that just means more and more people start to have it, that exact kind of health.
Yeah.
Which is such a beautiful thing. So what does proactive health mean and where is it headed?
So more of like the reactive kind of care is when you get sick, you go into the doctor. And then the doctor says, I'm going to give you this antibiotic to get better, or maybe I'm going to give you this heart pill to get better. Proactive health is saying, I actually am not going to wait until I'm sick. I'm going to go to the doctor ahead of time and not be afraid and say, I want you to give me the deepest look at my body possible. That can involve blood-based biomarkers, that could be full body MRI scans, that could be heart scans. And then you take all that information and you basically say, here's a very open and honest assessment about where I am right now in life. And then you say, where do I want to go? And then you create a plan that involves supplements, maybe medications, the way you sleep, stress reduction, diet, exercise, and then you start executing on that plan so you can basically get healthier as you actually age, or in many people's cases, you can actually reduce your biological age. And where it's heading is, we're all going to do this. And I don't know if you guys are watching companies like Prenuvo, which are doing the full body MRI scans. Those are going to get to $300 or $400 a year per person. And so within the next 5-ish years, once that happens, everyone's going to have their full body MRI scan. Everyone's going to have 200 biomarkers they look at. Everyone's going to have a AI-based longevity doc in their pocket on their phones. And it's going to be looking at all of that information. And it's basically going to be the highest quality doctor that you could possibly imagine wherever you go based upon whatever's happening in your life. And I think that is the most exciting thing.
Yeah, gosh, that is. It is, and it's so crazy to think. But I mean, I agree with all of it because it's like primary care now is just like not nothing, but when you have stuff like this is like we're really getting to know ourselves and know ourselves individually, like not just being grouped into, okay, she's female, 41, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like now, no, she's Stephanie Garcia Colas, and this is the stuff that's going on and what makes her different and what we can make her even better. So when we're talking about like the company Hone Health, and Brie and I keep saying this to everyone, and it'd be kind of nice for you to break this down, but how does Hone Health make hormone testing affordable and easy? Because, you know, we've been telling everyone that because that's the one thing you'll always hear from people, but it's so expensive and I can't like focus on longevity right now. I can't be proactive. How are you guys affordable and easy compared to everyone else?
So let's I'll even start on the most expensive end and I'll work our way back.
Okay, perfect.
So I probably spend $100,000 on my personal care per year with the best doctors possible. And we looked at it and we said, we're pretty sure we can take that care and provide it to people for a couple $1,000s per year. And so let's assume like that's where we think the model is working. Now, if I tell a normal person it's a couple $1,000s of cash out of pocket per year, they're like, whoa, that's a big financial commitment. But then if you say to someone, what about $50 or $60 to get started and give you more information than you could have ever imagined you would get from talking to a physician unless you paid $2,000 or $3,000? Then people start saying, yeah, that kind of feels like the most logical thing to do. So what we do is for $45 or $60, we basically bring you in. We look at 45 to 50 biomarkers. You go to a LabCorp, you provide some blood, or if you don't want to go to LabCorp, we'll send someone to your house free of charge. They'll do a blood draw, and then we do a 45-minute consultation with a licensed longevity physician that understands regenerative and hormone therapy. Now, just the blood test alone, that's normally $500 to $600. And then to speak with a specialized physician like that for 45 minutes, it's probably another $500, $600. But we do the combined thing. And let's even just use the number for $60. That's so affordable.
Oh, yeah.
It's like one shoe.
I mean, that's incredible.
I know. I feel like, I mean, y'all who are listening right now, you just have no excuse not to do it. Like
Right.
you truly have a company that's here to help, that cares about your longevity, wants you to be proactive. And that's how affordable it is. That's how easy it is. You just got to make the call, get the appointment, book it.
Yeah. And I do agree with you. When we were talking in the beginning, like it shouldn't be when you get to a place of feeling sick, or even how I got to a place where I started to wake up every morning. I'm like, I can't feel like this every day and keep going. It's awful. I feel like it's important for people. And I don't know what age you think, Saad, but to start in your 30s, and I mean, even heck, your 20s, I feel like all the environmental toxins we deal with and so many different food issues we deal with just alone in the United States, it wouldn't be bad to do it. But I wish I took more care of myself, even though I was always healthy. I was like you, healthy, all the things, but I never took that extra step to
Like
see
the supplements.
yeah,
or
what my body really
right,
needed.
Exactly.
I didn't know what was being blocked or what wasn't getting digested or what was low. And it was so great when I finally figured all of that out.
You know, the thing that we consistently hear from people, and by the way, I agree with you. You should start in your 20s. You should start in your 20s because it doesn't hurt having the information. And you go through so many changes and phases in life. You want to track how your health is actually moving, specifically for women. Because women you have your pre-menopause and you have your perimenopause and you have your menopause and you have your post-menopause. And so it's really important to track how that's happening over time. But I would probably say one of the most powerful things that we consistently hear. And I think you went through kind of a similar experience, but I hear people and women specifically say, I finally feel like I've been seen and heard. And it's primarily because we don't just test, we explain and we help you understand what's going on in your bodies. And I feel like both of you kind of went through that aha moment when you had your own consults with Dr. Staley.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh, big time. I was like, it answered so many, not even questions that I had myself, but like feelings that I knew something was wrong or something just wasn't normal. And so when he was going through everything, and then he was so incredible about asking questions like, so do you feel like this on the blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, yes. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Now there's, like you said earlier, facts. There's like right there tests that show like, yeah, you would be feeling all these things. And then finding out even more of like stuff I have like, hey, this is probably why you're having issues here. And I'm like,
Right.
I just thought it was me.
He even broke it down to where he was like, I feel like you both might have a little tiny tumor in this one area on your, maybe growing, was it?
No, thyroid.
Or thyroid.
Something's
and he goes,
pressing against it.
Yeah, he goes, definitely would be benign, but we're still going to get it tested. But he sent us kits of like, to do the deeper testing, because he's like, if it's showing up in this one test, we need to test it just to like make sure we're in the clear. And I'm like, wow, like I have never had someone go that deep in a testing.
Right. And just to talk about all the things that he talked about, it was just like you said, like a major aha moment. And I was like, it's great. I mean, even we talked a lot about like, you know, hey, some of your signs are showing that you probably are premenopausal. Like you're probably a few years away when you start to enter the premenopause stages. And just to hear all that. And then I was telling Brie, go, see, how nice is it to be a part of a company where when we hit that, well, if I hit that, I don't know what your conversation was with him, but like to hit that in a few years and to have help and to not be alone. I'm feeling those things, but also not to feel probably shitty as I would feel if you didn't have like different things to help you. I just am like, wow, this, it's just, you guys have been such a blessing.
Well, I'll say we love you guys. You guys have been wonderful for us too. And so I think the feeling is mutual.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you, Saad.
And Saad, yeah, thank you so much. And I do have one more question for you before we get into some inspiration and affirmation. What's your dream and vision for the future of not only Hone Health, but proactive healthcare, but even Hone Health, the company?
I mean, I can go on and on about the things we're doing and the AI that we're incorporating into the business and all the partnerships we're doing. But I really think at the end of the day, we grew up, meaning my family and I grew up poor. We didn't have a lot of means. And was very lucky that over the course of our life, my father was able to get promotions. My mother got educated. But when we were poor, we didn't have access to healthcare, especially being immigrants in this country. Like, no one told us what you're supposed to do. And a lot of our friends would get sick. And so the goal here is to take this healthcare that you and I have access to and get it so unbelievably cheap that anyone can afford it, and they can have the same exact kind of healthcare that we do, that celebrities do, that athletes do. I actually think that we're on a course to get there. And I think that would be the ultimate icing on the cake, where everyone has access to the same kind of care, because frankly, everyone is completely equal in terms of their life, and they should have the ability to go chase after every single thing they want. So that would be I would call it like the icing on the cake. And I think
That's beautiful, Saad.
I love that. That is so beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, you're so inspiring, your story, but then you hear something like that and you're like, wow. Well, this is how we all became aligned.
Honestly.
Like, you're a good person.
Spreading lots of light. That's for
Yes.
sure.
Well, Saad, we always end our episodes with a little inspiration affirmation. Is there a quote or a motto that you live by that you'd love to share with our listeners?
I'd probably say the thing that I try living by the most, and this is going to sound kind of trite because I bet you a lot of people will say it. But there's a Stoic philosophy that the obstacle is the way. And I think a lot of people talk about it. Ryan Holiday popularized it. But it's a really big deal at the company because every single thing we do in life, we now believe there's going to be failure before you figure out how to actually get through it. And so when you assume that whatever you do is going to break right off the bat, and when you finally find the failure, you just go, it's all good. We knew it's going to be there. Now we have to think about how to get around it. And I think it's so transferable, not from company building, but with this relationship that I've been in with my wife for 10 years, her going through pregnancy. My mom just got her knee done. I mean, every single thing you do in life. I mean, both of you are parents, and I'm guessing that there's so much of that you're going to go home, you're going to see your kids, and you're like, God damn it. Wasn't hoping that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And so I think that's just something that's just such a good reminder, and that we tell ourselves that all the time. Like, don't get discouraged about it. We knew it was going to fail. If you knew it's going to fail, you just have to figure out how to get around it.
Yeah.
So that would be the thing that probably really resonates.
I love that.
I do love that. I feel like so many times people are afraid to fail, but it's like failing's like the one thing that's taught me so much in life.
Right. There's a saying that it just hit me like when you said that, but it's called courage over comfort. And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't think of it that way. Like, yeah, courage, get out of the comfort zone. Like, it's going to get uncomfy for a bit and you might fail. You may succeed, but like we did it. We walked past that comfortable spot, in us. And so I love that. It's true. And you take courage everywhere, anywhere and everywhere with you. Personally, as a parent, as a sibling, entrepreneur, whatever it may be, like it goes into every aspect of your life, which I love. And we need that.
I would say the two of you, I was watching clips on you guys.
Uh-oh.
You're such badass athletes, like legitimately such good athletes. And so like, even when I think about that, two girls coming into a male dominated culture and saying, I'm going to carve out my own world, one, and then two, I'm going to learn how to be the best damn athlete. That's one of the most dangerous athletes too.
Yeah.
I mean, all of it. Just
Thank
pushing
you.
yourself into uncomfortable places. So it's wonderful too that you guys do this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That means so much.
And you too, Saad. I mean, all three of us sitting here because we did take a leap of faith. And for all of our listeners listening, do the same with your health. You won't regret it. I have never regretted doing more research on my health. And what Saad has done with Hone Health, you are going to be forever grateful. So head to the website. We're going to put up all the links. You're going to be able to, you can also go to their Instagram page, hone.health, and you're going to see all the information where you can start your testing today. You won't regret it. Get your life on track. Because if there's one thing I learned, my health is the one thing I have control of. And I like controlling things.
You sure do.
Let's go. I love it.
Yes. And Saad, we hope you get out of Miami safely. And also, when are you due? When's the baby coming?
August 13th.
Oh my. Okay, so August 1st
Taurus.
is my son.
July
No,
31st is Tay.
is August 13th. I think that's still Leo.
Or I mean a
Taurus
Leo.
is May.
I meant a Leo.
So
That's what I
versus
meant.
May. Yeah.
Yeah. We have Leo boys.
Yeah.
So if you need any advice on Leos, we'll give
Oh,
you a
yeah.
lot.
I'll take you that. We're having a girl. We actually chose a girl.
Oh my God.
I love that. That's so
excited.
cute.
You know, my daughter's my first, and I feel very blessed because the girl energy really helps you out as a first-time parent.
Honestly. Usually when the boys are first like me, you're like, I'm one and done. That's good. I'm tired.
Oh my gosh. So
That was my fear, actually, because I know how much trouble I was.
Yeah.
And I said, if I had one of me, number 2 would be hard.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
love it.
All right.
So thank you so much. You have a great time. Tell your wife we say
Yes.
I appreciate you guys. All right. Later.
Yes, we too.
Bye.
Bye. See you,
Bye.
Saad.
Later.
Later. All right, everyone. Well, what an incredible episode of the Nikki and Brie Show. And it's just always great to hear from the CEO and the co-founder of a company that you are in partnership with, but also love so much. So It was neat to get that little insight of Hone Health, the inspiration of it. And I mean, what an incredible person. And I do feel like people that do incredible things in life, it's because of what they've gone through. And he, being first generation here in America and having no healthcare and seeing what that did to his family, his friends, the people around him. And it's inspired him to give back in that way. And Hone Health truly does that. So it was just neat to hear that from him.
I agree. I mean, if there's one thing I've definitely learned in my life, people who are successful, and especially in companies, it's because they've been through it.
Mm-hmm.
So they have this passion and drive, and you could hear it in his interview, right?
You definitely can.
His passion and drive for health, and the fact of where he wants the company to go. I mean, I know we say this all the time, but I got goosebumps.
Which
And if
means
a Bella gets a goosebump, we know it hit.
That is right. So everyone check out Hone Health. Head to the website, sign up, give it a try. As you heard, it really, truly is affordable and easy. But I do know, Brie and I will always be like, you'll thank us. This one, you really will thank us. Change the not being proactive now. Let's get proactive. Let's talk about longevity and also share it with other friends and family, especially your ones that are going through it, who've either just had babies, who are premenopause. I mean, it's any of us, but anyone that you feel like, they need to especially get their hormones checked, not just anything else, but, send them to Hone Health. So Brie and I, again, it's taken us 2 decades to really find someone that we'd really love to partner with, and we believe in them, and we do it. We actually do the Hone Health process, and we love it. So
that's right. And you could see today's interview on our YouTube channel. You'll find videos on all our social platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And you can also hear this episode on SiriusXM Stars 109.